Hey everybody, a little bit of a different video coming out here today, but essentially I kind of wanted to start a little mini series where I just kind of do some relaxing things and I just kind of talk about things going on about my life, stuff like that. Now I have been watching a lot of Ken from Clash Royale and I know I'm supposed to be probably playing CS right now, but I think I would like to record myself doing these type of things so at least I can, try to keep myself grounded because I feel like I'm at a wacky time of my life right now, and I think I could use some talking, even if it is to a camera and nobody else. That is, well, even if I'm not talking to anybody right now, for not necessarily, but yeah. So for now I'm probably gonna be using Minecraft as a medium because I think it's just the easiest. But yeah, I'll go over some stuff. I just want to go over my world a little bit first. This is a realm that me and my friends started. And this is our area. I got a little grove of cherry trees right there, some spruce. I got my sheep over here, a little bit of a lag so I can my cows. We got a we got a wheat farm over here, and we got my homie's house up on top above with some calcite and his bedroom, which is admittedly looking pretty nice. And then my house is actually over here. I know this looks pretty good, huh? But this is misaligned. Wow, nice. Okay, but yeah, this is my house, and you can actually go down over here, and it looks like a mini trial chamber. Got some carrots growing over here. I guess not. And then I got my chests here. I never really fully established it, but it is what it is. And then I'm working on a big bonsai tree here, if that makes sense right now, where I'm building this up. Admittedly, it does look pretty good, but work in progress. And then some pumpkin patch over here, and then some of this. But yeah. So anyways, back to what I was, at least the main purpose of this video. I am at a weird time in my life right now where I'm not necessarily in school, but I am also not done with school yet, right? Which is a little odd. But I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, and of course my first choice would be CS, but I'm now, well, I'm still trying, but I'm now kind of not like, I'm now kind of discovering that honestly isn't the only thing I want to be doing with my life. I feel like there's also something else, right? And that's just essentially what I'm kind of looking for right now. I need to get an enchanting table, but there have been things I've been looking into. Now, originally my plan was not only to do CS, or I mean, my plan was that if CS did not work out, or Counter-Strike, I either, continue my YouTube channel, because I probably can hopefully get a pretty good audience here, even despite what I do, hopefully. Or maybe I can't, or maybe I keep on doing CS and I just do some random stuff. But my plan could either be content creation or music. And just recently I have been looking back in, wait, content creation or film, what I meant. I think I said music. I get jumbled. But essentially, oh wait, no, I need lava. I think there's another patch somewhere. Oh yeah, there's a trial chamber here, by the way. But essentially, I've been looking back into music recently. I used to play the piano, and I stopped sometime during high school, and now I would like to continue, and I want to actually get into like music composition and stuff like that. I just don't know how, or I just don't know what type of music I want to do, right? Hold on. I hear lava. But yeah, it's a bit of a difficult choice, but I'm figuring things out. For now though, I'm still trying to play CS. I'm in a team. I'm working on the practice aspect of it, or I mean, we're practicing a lot of times every week, and I'm still in the season. But I'm also looking into more to music, and maybe music composition. And as you guys have seen like 1 or 2 videos ago, I just made a music video, where it's a CS EDM type beat. It's not that good, but honestly, it was something I really enjoyed doing, and something I think I might be looking more into, because honestly, it's pretty sick. And well, okay, my inspirations at least. I went to a Leifei concert like 2 weeks ago, and I also went to like an AJR concert last year, and both of those artists just really inspired me. I'm like, dude, singing is such a fun thing. So, I mean, maybe that's what I want to try out as well. Because, mind you, I'm taking a gap year right now. I'm not necessarily in college, which means I still have to work on applications again, which is what I'm doing right now, which is low-key a bit of work. But I'm also able to look at my options, right? I don't know necessarily what I want to do right now, but, or not for sure, but I do have some ideas, and I do want to test them out at least over this next 7, 8, 9-ish months. Cause I'm gonna be real, music is so good. I love music, and even when I played piano, I liked it. I just didn't like the fact that I had to practice, and much less practice pieces I did not like to play, right? Not the best, and not my favorite, so, I mean, of course, I fell away pretty fast. But now that I'm actually getting back into it, I'm also trying to learn the guitar, which I have in my room right here next to me. Or either guitar or piano, and then maybe learn to sing. I can become like, I don't know, some type of artist, you know, singing about love songs. Of course, that's pretty corny, but, you know, I think it would be a pretty cool thing to do, right? At least something over the years. But, okay, well, to be completely honest with you, I had, like, a dream of becoming famous ever since I was small. And I low-key wrote a lot about this in my college essays, about, you know, my inspirations and stuff. And I looked up to Dan TDM a lot, but... And as a result, I started a YouTube channel when I was, like, I don't know, in 5th grade. So... Well, I mean, and also... When I was in 5th grade, it was a different YouTube channel than this one. And... Of course, it was pretty bad, I cannot lie. But it was a start, you know? It was, well, I really liked it, and my dream was not only to be famous, yeah, it was to be famous, but over the years, it has evolved into just wanting to make an impact on people. And, well, you guys might not know this if you're still watching this far, but I am a Christian, and I follow Jesus Christ, and one way I could make a change is, of course, spreading the gospel and the word of Jesus Christ, right? That's really good, and I think that's what I am called to do, and it's definitely what I should be doing. But I want to also do it in other forms as well, you know? I want to express myself in other forms, whether it be drawing, music, film, whatever. Like, if you look at movies like, say, okay, well, I mean, well, hold on. Let me just say, I am a really big fan of Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, right? The stuff that he's able to do in that movie, at least the shot composition, is just so talented, and I want to be able to do that sometime in my lifetime, or at the very least, you know, like, elicit emotions when I'm like performing myself or expressing myself, whether it be in any medium, right? So, and I do hope that it is a worthy dream, because let's be real, I cannot do everything I want to in this life. If I could, I would be pro in Counter-Strike. I would be the greatest musician ever. I would be a concert pianist. I would make movies, and I would be a preacher. But that's just not possible. So it is a bit scary, and the fact that I should at least try to choose in the next year or so is even scarier. I mean, right now, though, I will say I am applying to colleges as a film major with a minor in film. But even then, right, come on now, it's a bit scary, right? Because what if I end up not enjoying film or music as much as I like to? But at the same time, I also don't feel like I have a passion for anything else, right? Or at least anything else that would make me money, right? I like talking, but, you know, it's not like I'm trying to do sales, or I'm not trying to sell myself for my entire life, because that's just kind of hard, you know? And I don't want to study something just because it makes me money as a job, right? I don't think that's going to be wonderful. I mean, of course, obviously, I'm going to have more financial security in the future, but maybe it's just me, delusions, and me just being young, hoping and dreaming, but I would really love it, or I would really like to have some type of art as my profession, right? Even though it's so much hard, or so much hard. Wow, English, my bad. So I don't know. It's well, I mean, this is like my third time saying I don't know, I think, but what I do know is that it is something I want to be trying out. So well, I mean, obviously, in this next year, in the next year or so, while I still have my tools to edit, to make videos, I'm still going to be making videos and streaming Counter-Strike if possible, but just not necessarily too much of the same thing, because I want to look at my options, and I want to find a true passion that I have, you know, and maybe, well, okay, well, of course, right now I'm also, like, getting back into piano, so I've been doing a lot of piano playing. And I also want to upload my piano pieces, right? If I ever get to play them. Or singing, maybe, if, you know, if my voice is actually good. I also even joined my church choir the other day, and I started singing. I found out I was a bass. So, you know, maybe I could become Frank Sinatra without, you know, with that low voice. So, that would definitely be a very nice thing to do, but nevertheless, I think whether I decide to go to college or not, this channel is always going to be a part of me, and even though I wanted to be famous, or a part of me wanted to be famous, I think over the years it has evolved into not necessarily an outlet of becoming famous, but kind of like a personal diary that other people can see, right? Because obviously you guys can all see what I'm saying, and sometimes it's embarrassing, sometimes it's not, sometimes I feel cool being seen, but sometimes I don't. But nevertheless, I don't really care about trying to look cool online. I just want to remember when maybe, or at least one day, look back at what I had, and or at least what I had or who I was, and I'm just like, wow, I'm happy that I at least, you know, tried the things I wanted to try, and even if it didn't work out, it was okay. And I was talking to my dad about this the other day. He was, well, God bless him, obviously, because I mean, Asian parents. I'm happy I was not forced into becoming a doctor or a lawyer, which is, you know, obviously the Asian parent norm. He was like, I'd rather have you feel remorse rather than regret for not doing it. And honestly, I don't know if I know the difference between those two words, but I mean, the principle still stands true. He'd rather have me, like, regret or feel bad that it didn't work out rather than feel bad that I never got to try it. And I think that's just the greatest gift I could ever receive from anybody, more than money, cars, clothing, whatever, right? Because the fact that I'm able to explore what I want in my life and still, you know, and I have the time to do so, it's just a gift, it's a blessing. So yeah, it's wonderful. And I also want to say, wherever I go into the future, college, whatever, if I have a job, and as I just said, because this is essentially kind of my diary, I always, or at least I never want to give this channel up, you know, even if, not just for the views or whatever, but just, you know, for kind of the memories and, you know, the small community that I have made over the past, like, couple of years or so. And it's just nice having people, like, being able to talk to people that, like, are very interested in what you're interested in, because let's be real, CS is not a very popular game within the younger generation, right? Like, okay, well, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, and maybe it's, like, absolutely booming in Russia or, like, UK or whatever, but in the US, CS is pretty dead, bro. We have zero ways to bring talent up, zero things, absolutely, it's really bad. But at the same time, or I mean, it's because they're all at Valorant, which, you know, honestly makes sense, but at the same time, being able to talk about what I like online in what I consider to be a pretty niche, in my area, niche subject, and having other people just like come in and start booming about it is just absolutely wonderful as well. I think it's to think about my life up to this point, you know, I have found people that, you know, accept me for who I am inside and outside the game. It's just, it's a gift, I think. So, I mean, obviously, if you're not, if you haven't, well, if you're not really, like, if you're in an environment where you aren't necessarily, well, where your interests aren't necessarily widespread or known or just widely accepted, I recommend that you maybe share it online. It's a really good idea, personally, you know. And I think you would be surprised at the things that can come out of it. But either way, it is going to be, hopefully, I would like to say, a pretty fun next couple of months from my YouTube channel, at least, and my life. Of course, I think one thing I've always struggled with is discipline, and I've always been on the lazier side, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but, you know, I'm trying, and, you know, it's a work in progress, and who I'd like to think that the person I will be in a year is just vastly different than the person I will be right now, or I am right now. Dude, these armor enchantments are absolutely horrendous. Okay, Unbreaking 3, nice. Fire Aspect, that's pretty W. That's not W. Okay, well, I got no more XP. But yeah, I have been yapping for a long time, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching this. I will probably focus more on, or I'll probably do more of these types of videos in the future, you know, just talking about stuff, figuring out life. It can be different topics as well. Also, well, I like to play CS, and I'm a Christian. I like Bible topics and stuff. So if y'all ever have like any like trivial, or like not trivial, trivia questions you guys can ask me, you guys can bring it up, and I can talk about it in the future videos, or even maybe just, I don't know, whatever y'all want to hear from me to talk about. You know, like, is AI cool, or what's my political stand? Okay, I should not talk about that. Or like, you know, if I was president, what would you do? For one, I would, you know, I would increase the speed limit in school zones to 60 miles per hour or something like that. But like, yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It is a very different video. Not too much high effort, but, you know, just talking. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!